from fiberscope.net. Today we're doing an unboxing and setup of our downhole/well inspection camera. So as you can see, we sell this as a complete set. You get the monitor unit with the DVR and the keyboard. You get a winch system, which is actually a mechanical winch, so you can lower and raise the camera head. And then the big camera head is just right here. This is actually a dual camera. So you have a side view camera with LED lights built in, and then a down view camera with LED lights built in. And the unit actually pans 360 degrees around. So once you drop it down in a hole, you can actually look around to inspect the sidewalls and to inspect straight down. For this camera, there is a connection on the side here. So this actually has a ring. So you've got a connection port here, an O-ring that's inside to help make it waterproof, and then pins to lock it in, and then the connector. So you want to make sure that you line up the pins properly, that the O-ring is in good condition when you connect it. That's what's going to help make it waterproof. And this unit is waterproof to 50 bar, which is going to be about 1,600 feet of pressure. You're just going to want to line it up. Make sure the connection is flush. Push it down as hard as you can, and then just screw it in as tight as you can. In the package, what we're going to include with the unit is connections for this. There are extra O-rings. You're also going to get a couple screwdrivers, your cables, your monitor, manual. And then, yeah, like I said, extra O-rings. There's some waterproof silicone grease to help make everything secure and also to help the connections that you're using. Basically, if you want to use all the features on the unit, there's 3 cables that you need to connect. These are going to go to the DVR, and then they're also going to go to the winch system. We also have this unit, which is actually just a little skid. So this is going to fit over the camera head, and you're going to bolt it in, and it's going to help keep the camera head off the walls and from hitting into the side. So the way that this works is you would unscrew the connection, this part goes over top of this, and then the other end just goes above the side view camera. So as you'll see here, there's actually a ring here. This is what you're going to put the bottom part of that on. So it's going to go here, and it's going to help keep this off, and then this part will still rotate. So when you're connecting the unit, you're going to have, we'll start with this one. This will be your main cable. So you're going to have 2 ends that are going to have 8-pin connectors. The small one on the sides is what's going to go into your winch, and then the large one is going to go into your DVR box. And then this one just goes in here. There's going to be 2 ports. There's going to be a cam borehole, which is the one you want to use, and then there's a CMP4015, which we'll talk about later. That's going to be for if you want to use additional smaller camera heads. So once you connect this is going to give you your live image from the unit. So if you open the monitor up, and then there's a power button here. When you look at the system, top right corner, you'll have your plug, which is your AC power. So you want to run that off an outlet or off a generator. There'll be a display here, an LCD, which will just tell you how much amperage you got going in. You're going to want to run it either on AC, or there is a battery, so you could run it off a battery for a little while, and then there's a power button beside that. When you click on the power button, the set's going to boot up. So you'll have an option between AV and DVR. So audiovisual is your live image. DVR is going to be if you want to record images or record video onto the hard drive that's built in. And then you've got a dial for side and down. That's your camera setting. So either you're using the side camera to look sideways into the sidewalls, or you're using the down camera to look straight down. On the left-hand side, you're going to have your camera input, and then your additional camera. Then you're going to have your winch and your depth encoder. So that'll be power for the winch to raise it up and down, and then the depth encoder is your on-screen foot counter. So right now the unit's on. I'll just give you a little bit more of a display here. If we pull this out, you'll see that the live image is on right now. We can rotate this to get it upside down or right side up. And then we've got controls for the LED lights as well. So you can turn the lights up to max power, you can decrease them if you want, and then you can rotate the camera. We can also switch to side view. So you just click the button, and now you'll see that we still have rotation of the camera. And we've got side view there as well. And then again, LED lights to control the illumination. And then just simple switch back and forth. So downhole, side view, easy enough. Even while you're recording, you can also switch in between to get different images. Menu settings are here for the DVR. So this is what you would use when you're recording. If we switch to DVR mode, you'll hear the system boot up. So the hard drive is booting up, as well as the menu settings, the keyboard, all of that stuff. You're going to want to give it a couple minutes to load up. Once that happens, you'll have live on-screen menu, and then you'll also have the on-screen foot counter and all that stuff when we hook that up. So there's going to be 2 other cables here. Your 2-prong connection is for the winch power. So that's going to control the motorized movement of the winch going up and down. And this just goes into winch power. And then, as you'll see on the side, the winch is actually motorized. There's a little motor underneath, and then there's a chain, similar to a heavy-duty bike chain. That'll be what moves the unit and bears the load of the weight. Your last cable is for your on-screen foot counter. So curved cable you're going to want to have plugged in here, so it's kind of out of the way. and your other end is just going to plug in here. So these are the three cables that you're usually going to have hooked up, and then you'll have it running to power most likely on site if you can. So if we out of the menu, you'll see you've got your on-screen foot counter, you've got your temperature, and you've got your compass setting. So right now the camera's pointing south. If we move it around, you'll see that it'll move to northwest, or it'll rotate over. So that'll help give you some bearing of where you're looking and which way it's pointing. You've got a temperature reading from the front of the camera, and then the on-screen foot counter works with the winch. For the winch setting, you've got down and up, so you can switch between those. If we click to down right now, you're going to want to use the speed on here. So it'll start unspooling, and you can control how fast that goes. You'll see on the screen, when it's going through and it's rotating that disc, that the footage will change. And so that'll mark off how much you've reeled off. If you want to reel it back up, you switch to upward, and again, you're just going to spool it up, and you can control the speed of how that's moving. It'll be a little bit different once it's actually hanging down and is rolling across on that, but you'll get the idea. There's also an emergency brake, so if you're having any issues, you can emergency stop the unit. It'll stop going, or you can use the speed and just turn it off, which will also stop the movement. But the emergency brake is helpful in case you run into an issue. Buttons for camera rotation are here, so you're using a side-to-side pan just to spin in a circle. So this way and then back, that's going to control your side-to-side movement, and then there is a reset if you need to use that, but that's usually for different camera heads. Settings here, you've got your microphone, so if you want to record sound from the box while you're working on it, you can turn that on. There's also a Wi-Fi setting, so you can turn this on. There's a barcode that you can scan, and there's an app called Wi-Fi AVI. So if you connect that, you can click on the app, connect to the Wi-Fi on the unit, and this will actually give you a live image, and then you can record video onto your tablet or smartphone, or you can capture images as well. So this will give you the exact same image as what you're getting on here, but it just helps if you want to record stuff. Same thing, smartphone, you can do the same thing as well. So Wi-Fi AVI, connect to the live signal, and then it'll just give you a live image from the unit itself. In addition to that, we've got the keyboard, so if you want to do pages of text as well, you can do that. So job site, you can just type that up too, and that'll actually that'll record onto any images or video that you're doing as well. So you can keep notes of where you are, you can put in notes of what you're seeing, stuff like that. That'll save onto there. And then again, you've got a USB port, so any files you capture you can transfer off onto a hard drive or a USB stick or to a computer. Menu settings are pretty easy to go through. You can copy files onto the USB stick, video in is your live image, and then you can also go to setup and change if you're capturing images, video, stuff like that. Not really much you need to worry about there. And then yeah, the only other thing to mention is, as we said before, there is an additional cam input. So this is for pan and tilt camera head. The large camera head on the downhole cameras is a 2.5 inch, and like we said, it just rotates 360 degrees. If you want to though, you could use a different unit. So I'll take apart some of these. And so the camera head that we have from our Anaconda pan and tilt units, this will be a 2-inch pan and tilt, so it'll go side to side and also around in a circle. This one would get into some smaller areas, not quite as waterproof, but it'll give you a good option for some additional inspections if you want to do them. It would just connect to the top here as well. You're using a special connection here. You can get a push cable if you want to use this as a push camera as well, and it also uses an O-ring at this connection. So if we connect this, you're going to see the live images displayed on the screen. Same thing, you can control the LED lights, and then you can control the camera head movement just using the monitor, and image and video capture onto a memory card as well. Or sorry, onto the hard drive that's built into the unit, or through a USB port onto a memory stick.